Hello everyone, this side Ajay Gupta from IMT College of Engineering Greater Noida. Today we are going to discuss data modeling using ER model in DBMS. First of all, we will discuss what is data modeling and what are the different type of data modeling and where ER model exists in our database management system. So, what is data modeling? Data model can be defined as integrated collection of concept for describing and manipulating data, relationship between data, and constraint on the data in an organization. We have different type of data models broadly classified in as object-based data model, physical data model, and record-based data model. Then again, object-based data model is further classified as ER model, object-oriented model, and functional model. And record-based data model are described as hierarchical model, network model, and relational model. So out of all these data models, two main important data models are ER model and relational model. Current days database are developed on relational model. In relational model, what is relation? Relation is tables, means current days database are the collection of interrelated tables. And what is ER model? ER model is a pictorial representation of our database. For example, if we are going to build our house, what we do? First, we get the house map drawn on 2D by an architect. Architect means architect is going to draw our 2D diagram. And for example, if I like to build my 2 BHK house or 3 BHK house, first of all, what architect do? Architect draw a map on which 3 rooms, 1 drawing room, 1 kitchen, 2, 3 washrooms are available, and what are the situations of all the rooms and other drawing room kitchens. So we will discuss on that model, and when we satisfy with the architect's model of house model, then we go ahead and our building of house started. So ER model is also a pictorial representation of our actual database. So we start discussing the ER model. First of all, ER model concept. The ER model is a high level data model. It is based on perception of a real world that consists of a collection of basic objects called entities and of relationship among these models. The ER model is mainly used for communication between database designer and end user during the analysis phase of database development. What it means? We have several database development phase. For example, first phase is analysis phase, then the second phase is designing phase, third is development, fourth one is deployment, and fifth is maintenance. So the first phase is analysis phase. In analysis phase, there must be discussion between the designer of the database and the end user. Designer understand the requirement of the end user. He draw the requirement on a 2D paper, pen on paper, and discuss with the end user. When the end user satisfied with its requirement, then it start developing the database. So we can say ER model is the pictorial representation of our actual database. What is entity in ER model? An entity is an object that has its existence in the real world. An entity may be a tangible object such as a student or a place. It may also be a non-tangible object such as an event, a job title, or a customer account. What is mean? That entity can be classified as a tangible object as well as non-tangible object. Tangible object means which we can touch and feel. For example, our student, or we can say pen, paper, table, chair, fan, laptop, and mobile phones. These are the tangible object which we can touch and we can feel. And the non-tangible object, we can say the job title, for example, manager, teachers, and others. and customer account number. If the account start with 1007943, then that is non-tangible entity set. Our student roll number is also a non-tangible object, or you can say non-tangible entity set. Then what is entity set? It is a set of entities of the same type that shares the same properties or attribute. Example, the set of all persons who are customer at a given bank can be defined as entity set customer, or we can say students, the same class student come under entity set student. What is attribute? Attribute are unit that describe characteristic of or properties of entities. For example, a student entity set can be classified, can be described by its properties. And what are properties of student entity set? It can be its name, student name. You can say student father's name, student phone number, student roll number, student address. So by these attributes, we can describe a student, we can identify a student. So the property of an entity set is known as attribute. In a database, entities are represented by table and attribute by column name. Next, we can classify attribute as follows. First is simple attribute. Simple attribute is an attribute that cannot be further subdivided. For example, salary. If a person has a salary of 5,000 rupees, then 5,000 is represented at 5 and 000. We can't segregate 5 with 000, or we can't segregate any zero from the 5,000. As a whole, it means 5,000. So simple attribute can't be divided further. Next is composite attribute. Composite attribute is an attribute composite of multiple component, or it can be further subdivided in smaller component with an independent existence of their own. For example, address attribute can be composed of component like street number. Street number is independent existence. Area is also its independent existence. City, pin code, and so on. Another example, if I talk about a name, let a name Pankaj Kumar Sharma. So Pankaj Kumar Sharma name is a composite attribute because we can divide the name in three parts: first name, middle name, and last name. First name is Pankaj, middle name is Kumar, and last name is Sharma. So these all are in independent existence. So if a attribute has its independent existence also, it come under composite attribute. Next is single value attribute. Single value attribute is one that holds single value for a single entity. For example, roll number attribute for an entity set means every student has only one entity for its roll number. No student have more than one roll number attribute means every student have one and only one roll number. So this attribute, roll number attribute, is a single value attribute. Next is multi-value attribute, is an attribute that hold multiple values for a single entity. For example, a student entity can have multiple values for the hobbies attribute like reading, music, game, etc. Means this field, hobby field, can have more than one values in it. For example, if a student have more than one have hobbies, cricket, football, dance, so in that field more than one value should be there, then it is come under multi-valued attribute. Then derived attribute. Derived attribute is one that represent a value that can be derived from the value of a related attribute. For example, the age attribute can be derived from the date of birth attribute. What it means, if attribute value is derived from some another attribute value. Here age, if the attribute name is age, then age column value is derived from the date of birth. For example, my current age is something else, my tomorrow age is something else. My current age is calculated by the current date minus the date of birth. My tomorrow age is calculated tomorrow day minus date of birth, and so on. So derived attribute is dependent on some other attribute. So this is known as derived attribute. Next, notation of ER diagram. As we have already discussed that ER model is nothing. It is the pictorial representation of our database. So for drawing a pictorial representation, we must have some standard pictorial representation on which we can draw our ER diagram. So some of the standard notations are discussed here. First one is entity set. Entity set are represented in rectangular box. Then weak entity set. Weak entity set is represented in double rectangular box. Then relationship set, it is represented with diamond box. Then identifying relationship set for weak entity set, it is represented by double diamond box. Then primary key. Primary key is represented as an ellipse, and the name of the attribute is written inside that ellipse, and the name of the attribute is underlined. If the name of the attribute is underlined, then that attribute is known as primary key of that entity set. Here we have taken A as an attribute and we have marked a underline between below the A. So it represents that this is the primary key attribute. Then many to many relationship. Many to many relationship is represented by a relationship set and two links. One is left side and another is right side. If we mark a arrow at any side, it represent one. But if we have to mark many, then we don't mark any arrow on that. So this is in on many to many relationship. We draw only the single line on left and right. It shows the many to many relationship. Similarly, one to one relationship, the diamond box and two lines, one on left side and one on right side. So both left and right are single arrowed. Single arrowed means it is one to one relationship. Then role indicator. Role indicator indicate the role which is written on the link between the relationship set and entity set. Then attribute. Attribute is represented with the ellipse. Then multi-valued attribute. Multi-value attribute is represented by double ellipse. Then derived attribute is represented by dashed ellipse. Then total participation of entity set in relationship. It is represented by a double line between relationship set and entity set. Discriminating attribute of weak entity set, it is represented by attribute and the name of the attribute is dashed line. If it is a solid line, it is primary key. If it is a dashed line, this is discriminating attribute of weak entity set. Then many to one relationship. Many to one means at many sides there is no arrow, and at one side there is a single arrow. So this is known as many to one relationship. Then cardinality limits. Cardinality limit means how many instances of one class is connected with how many instances of another class. This is known as cardinality limit. Here it is shown as 1:h, means at left side there is one instance and at the right side there is h number of instance. Then it is this is a triangular box. Okay, this is represented for specialization as well as generalization. When this figure is read from top to bottom, it is represented for specialization case, and when it is read from bottom to top, it is used for generalization case. So these are the extended ER model. We will discuss in our next lecture about the extended ER diagrams. Then what is a strong and weak entity set? Then the entity set which does not have sufficient attribute to form a primary key is called a weak entity set, and The reverse is the entity set which does have sufficient attribute to form a primary key is called uh, strong entity set. Means here we have taken example of loan and payment. We will discuss this example in detail to understand the strong and weak entity set. What it means, we have taken two entity set. One is loan, one is payment. As figure is shown that one loan is drawn with single rectangular box, then it is represented as strong entity set, and payment is drawn with the double rectangular box, it is represented the weak entity set. How it is weak and how loan is strong, we will discuss. Loan has a loan number and amount, two attribute, whereas the payment has three attribute: payment number, payment date, and payment amount. The relationship between loan and payment is known as loan and payment. Let's understand what is mean, that if a customer A has taken two loans, one is home loan for 20 years and one is car loan for 5 years. So he has to pay back his loan in terms of EMI. So for 20 years, how many EMI? It is 240 EMI, means 12 into 20, 12 months. In a year, they are 12 months, and taken for 20 years means 240 EMI for, you can say, a home loan, and 5 year, 5 into 12 is 60. 60 payback payment is for car loan. So the loan number is different in both home loan as well as car loan. But for the payment, in terms of payment, the payment number one is home loan also, payment number one is in car loan also, payment number two is in home loan also, payment number two is in car loan also. So up to 1 to 60, there is a same payment number in car loan also, in home loan also. So how this payment is differentiated, that the customer is paying a EMI, that EMI lies to which loan, that EMI lies to home loan or that EMI lies to car loan. So it can't be differentiated by payment number. But if we combine the payment number with loan number, then it is going to be uniquely identify that by which EMI we are paying to which loan. So for weak entity set, the primary key is made with the help of payment number and the entity set on which the payment is dependent. Payment is dependent on the entity set loan. So the loan's primary key is loan number. So the primary key for the payment entity, weak entity set, is the combination of loan number as well as payment number. Let's see in the another slide. Entity set payment has three attributes: payment number, payment date, and payment amount. Although each payment entity is distinct, but payment for different loan may share the same payment number. So this entity set does not have a primary key and it is a weak entity set. We have already discussed. Set of attributes that can uniquely identify weak entity related to some owner entity are called discriminator or prime partial key of the entity set. For example, payment number act as discriminator for entity set payment. We have already said that this is a partial key, or we can say it is a discriminator, the payment number in payment entity set. The primary key of weak entity set is formed by the primary key of a strong entity set on which the weak entity set is dependent, plus the weak entity set's discriminator. Here in our example, the loan number comma payment number, the combination of loan number and payment number act as primary key for payment entity set. The relationship between weak entity set and a strong entity set is called identifying relationship, and it is represented by double diamond box which we have shown in our example also. The loan payment is identifying relationship for payment entity set, which we have already discussed. Next, let's take some another example. We have taken make an ER diagram having two entity set, customer and item. So we have to make an ER diagram with two entity set, customer and item. So what we have to do first, firstly we have to choose two rectangular box. One is for customer and one is for item. So here we have taken two rectangular box and put customer in one and put item in another entity set. So then we decide some attribute of customer. So what is the attribute on which we can describe a customer? Means here we have taken four attribute for customer. First is customer ID, that is primary attribute. Why it is primary attribute? We have underlined the name of the attribute in the attribute symbol. Then it represents that customer ID is the primary key of customer. Then we have taken date of birth. We have taken date of birth is simple attribute. Then we have taken phone number. Phone number is multiple attributes, means a customer can have more than one phone number. Then name is a what it is a is it a simple attribute or composite attribute? This is composite attribute. Why? Because main can be divided in two further subcategory, that can be first name and last name. So here the name is a composite attribute. Then in item, again we have taken four field, or you can say four attribute. One is item code, which is the primary key of item. Another is cost. Next is color, and next is weight. And we have taken one relationship between customer and item, that is purchase, means customer purchases item. We read this diagram as this, that customer purchases item, and we have some attribute with the relationship set also, that is purchasing date and bill number. These are the attribute of purchasing relationship. Cardinality ratio is many to many, means in our diagram cardinality ratio is many. We have already discussed what is cardinality ratio. It is how many instance of one class is attached with how many instance of another class. This is known as cardinality ratio. Here in our case, cardinality ratio is many to many because a customer can buy any number of item and the same item can be purchased by many customers. Let's see in the diagram. Here we have written M at the customer end and N at the item end. Means it shows the many to many relationship, means many customer can purchase a single item, or we can say a single item can be purchased by many customers, or we can say there is a many to many relationship in this diagram. Then what is descriptive attribute? Attribute of any relationship set are known as descriptive attribute. So what are the attribute in this example known as descriptive attribute? Means in this particular example, purchase date and bill number are the descriptive attribute. Why these are descriptive attribute? Because we have already defined that the attribute of a relationship set are known as descriptive attribute. So purchasing date and bill number are descriptive attribute. Here we have discussed already. Then let's take another example. Make an ER diagram with entities, customer, loan and payment. Means here we have taken three entity set. One is customer, another is loan, and last is payment. So for representing three entity set, we have taken three rectangular box, out of which one is weak entity set. Which one is weak entity set? Payment is weak entity set. So we have taken payment in double rectangular box, and customer and loan are strong entity set. Why? Because they have their own primary key. Let's see in detail about this example. Customer has three attribute: name, address and customer ID, and customer ID itself is sufficient to identify any customer uniquely. So this is known as primary key. Similarly, in loan, there are three attributes: loan number, type and loan amount. Here again, loan number is underlined, loan number attribute is underlined, means this represent the primary key of loan. Means what primary key says, that with the attribute which can uniquely identify an entity in entity set. Means loan number can be uniquely identify the loans in entity set loan. Then in payment, we already discussed that payment number can't be uniquely identify the payment. So payment must be dependent on loan. So the relationship between loan and payment is loan payment, and the primary key of payment must be made by the combination of the partial key of payment number and the primary key on which payment is dependent. Payment is dependent on loan. So the combination of loan number and payment number will become the primary key of payment entity set. So I hope this example is clear to everyone. Then next, converting ER diagram to table. Our next target is to make our database in the form of relational database. So we have already discussed that relational database are nothing. They are the collection of tables. So the diagram which we have drawn in ER diagram, we have to convert that ER diagram in terms of tables. So what we do, we can convert ER diagram to a table format, which is the basis for deriving a relational database design from an ER diagram. For each entity set and relationship set, there is a unique table which is assigned the name of corresponding entity set or relationship set. Each table has a number of columns generally corresponding to attribute which have unique name. What it means, that we are converting our ER diagram, all the entities set, whereas the relationship set are converted in different tables. If we talk about this diagram, then in this diagram we are going to make 3 tables for 3 entity set. One is customer, one is loan, and one is payment. So 3 tables for these 3 entity set, and 2 tables are going to be made for relationship set. One is for borrow relationship set and one is for loan payment relationship set. So when we are going to convert this ER diagram in a table, then it is going to be converted in 5 tables. The first table has 3 columns. First column name is customer ID, second name, then third is address. Then loan number is, loan table is again 3 columns. Then loan number, type, and amount. Then payment is again 3 column. Payment table has again 3 column. The payment number, date, and amount. And for borrow relationship set, what we do, when we draw the table of borrow, we take one attribute from left side and one attribute from right side. And which attribute is going to be choose? The prime attribute. Means for borrow table, we are going to draw 2 columns. One is customer ID and one is loan number. Similarly, in loan payment table, we are going to draw 2 columns. One is loan number from the loan table and one is payment number from the payment table. So converting this ER diagram into tables, we are convert this ER diagram in 5 tables. And we have already said then in relational model, the collection of table itself is database. Then we come to the representing entity set as a table. We have chosen here one small example. A strong entity set reduced to a table with same attribute as represented in ER diagram. Here we have taken customer as an entity set and we have taken 4 attribute customer names represented as CNAME, address, phone number, and city. When we convert in a table, then the table name is same as the entity set name. Here the entity set name is customer. So after converting the entity set in table, the table name is same as the customer. And the column name are the attribute name. First column name is CNAME, second is address, third is phone number, and fourth one is city. Then we enter our data in this database. The first data is Raj IMT phone number and corresponding city. The second data is Amit NIT phone number and corresponding city. The third data is RN GNIT phone number and Agra, and so on. So by this means we are going to build our database. So in this lecture we have discussed about the ER modeling, or we can say ER diagram, and we have shown that ER model is nothing, it is the pictorial representation of our database. So thank you all. I hope this lecture is helpful for all. Thank you.